Hello and welcome to What Map, the map review show for Cities Skylines. There are tens of thousands of maps in the workshop now, and so finding the right one for your next build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review one, using our 5-star rating for aesthetics, detail and gameplay potential, awarding only the very best the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here, how you doing? Right, today it's Thursday, it's Throwback Thursday, and normally Throwback Thursday maps are worth running from, because frankly they're old and past it. Today's map is an exception to the rule. You will enjoy today's map, I almost guarantee it. So yes, we'll start with a Throwback Thursday map, before going on to this Colossus from a Colossus asset creator, and we'll finish with 4 different themes with one single LUT, the 4 that we've seen in the last few days. Right, today's map is Pierdoniadiel Z. I guarantee that's how it's pronounced. It's by Zakerias. It's a Dutch map. There's your start square. Yes, Dutch map, and it says quite a long description as well, and trust me, worth a read. It really is. I learned something from that as well. There's your resources, and it's very vanilla because it's old, obviously. Here's your requirements, absolutely nothing. And there's your write-up, a little bit to read, nothing essential, you might learn something. Now, honestly, I was tempted to go with vanilla LUTs for this map. I've gone with a custom LUT, which we'll talk about later on. We won't worry about the LUT for now, we'll save that for the end of the show, because frankly, this is about the map. Now we start off with this causeway, taking you across the waters, the Dutch waters that they are, and then we got this bridge raised up because there are shipping routes going underneath it. Not quite perfect, but pretty close. And once again, old map, so therefore no move it, so therefore not so forgiving on the map maker. Still possible to do it perfect, but not so easy. No way of making simple corrections. We're playing with a raised highway, an elevated highway here, which once again, because this is all floodplain, I guess if there is flooding, a raised highway is a very good place to be. Right, here's your start square. Very, very nice. Actually very typical. It's a good flat build, right by the water, got the rail right behind it, and very nice actually. No grumbles about that at all. Okay, now if we head on down the highway, and we'll see where this takes us to. And we've got going across the rail at the moment, road over rail, always a winner in my book. And the trees, of course, vanilla trees, ugly trees, but never mind. There's your intersection. We'll come back and have a look at that in a second. First of all, have a look at this bridge. We're not going to go any further down this route. But once again, perfect bridge, nicely done. Nice river banks there as well, with the dams along the outside as well. Right, we'll have a look actually at the next intersection, I think, rather than have a look at that one, because we're on the roll. Simple bridges, nice and smoothly tapered up. None of this 45-degree angle nonsense that we see so often. Little bit of road glitching down the middle, tiny, meaningless little issue. No huge grumbles there. Oh, hang on. Bridge is a little bit squishy, I think, at one end. A little bit squishy, a little bit squifty. I was going to use the word squifty. Squifty is a word. Look it up. Maybe it's not. This one a little bit squifty at this end as well. Not perfect, but pretty close. Pretty close. Nothing that I would grumble about too much if I took this map on blind. I'd be quite happy with that. More glitching down the middle of the highways, but check out that landscape. Beautiful. Very flat, but not perfectly flat. Some hillage, which is just nice, because you imagine if it was perfectly flat, well, Then the intersection here. Now what I want to point out here, we've got very difficult to do anything other than this. We've got 3 lanes going into 1 lane and 1 lane going into 3 lanes. Of course, this is an old map, and we can get around that now, but at the time, well, there were no other options. You had 3 lanes or you had 1 lane, or you had a national road, and that was your lot. That was all you could do. In fact, I'm not even sure you had a national road. That was mass transit, I believe, wasn't it? Was it? I don't know. Too many changes and too much going on. City Skylines, I can't keep track of it all. Right, nice rail over road. I'm happy with that because once again the landscape permits it. Makes a lot of sense. And yeah, surrounded by trees. I know a few people don't like that, but I had no problem with it. When you're going past farmland, this works for me. This is very, very nice. And we haven't got too much in the way of overhanging like here. That's probably about as close as we get to trees overhanging the live wires there. There might be 1 or 2 other instances, but that's about as bad as it gets. It's actually quite nicely done. Now this next bridge, I've got some minor grumbles with this one. Once again, old bridge, harder to do it smoothly. It looks pretty reasonable. Just those slopes down, I would have started that a little bit further back if at all possible. Maybe from about here, just for a gentler elevation. And same on the other side as well. That said, within the bounds of tolerance, within the game's realism, I guess, is fine. I'm not going to mark that bridge down on that. There's your start square, and yeah, you go. The rail runs right into it and runs right out of it. Nicely done. And then over here, and there's another nice little perfect little bridge there, and then rail under road, which is the winner. I'm happy with that. Of course, when the road is elevated, it makes it really easy to do. Here though, this is a little bit steep for my liking, the rail there. Yes, it's got to find a way through that intersection, but I still would have preferred it a little bit smoother, a little bit gentler. And then perfect bridges there, not even stopping to look at them. See, now here, see, it comes down, okay, it's not super steep, but it's a gentle, slow slope, and then kadunk down to the ground in a thump. And I would have liked that a little bit smoother as well. Okay, where are we going now? We're going between the highways, and that looks okay, I guess. And then out the other side, and into the forests, and off to the horizon. Right, anybody want to see an asset from the king himself? The king? Maybe. Yeah, it's an asset from Elvis. No, the other king. It's Venetian Tower Hotel by KingLeno. And this is just another one of these amazing assets. He's like pouring out almost like 1 a week, it seems, if not more than that. And there is actually a pool that goes with this one, very much like his casino. I can't remember what the casino was now, but we covered it very recently. Beautiful thing, and a beautiful pool. And this one's got its own pool as well, which is great. I should have really covered this at the same time. Too late now. Too late now. We're at this stage. It's past it. Big old building, this one, towering over Assetville, but very nicely done indeed. Venetian Hotel Tower by KingLeno, and that is today's asset of the day. Oh yeah. Of course, if you're into KingLeno's work and want to know more about him, feel free to check out Skylines Talk. We had a really interesting interview, by the way. Look at that bridge. Ooh dear, shipping through that. Never mind. Yeah, we had a really good chat on Skylines Talk at the beginning of the last series. New series hopefully coming up very soon. Just trying to sort out logistics with my guests. It's not as easy as it sounds, I promise you. Anyway, shipping routes, yeah, there, and there. And then this one, well, that goes under a bridge there, which is a little bit low as well. There we go, just show you some of the shipping clipping here. That one's not too bad. That one's okay for the freighter, but when the cruiser comes along in a second, here we go, skip to that, there we are. The cruiser comes through. That one, despite being raised quite high, is still not quite high enough, and we've got similar problems up the rivers Here, like this one, this is the freighter going under a low bridge, and you just know that the cruiser is going to be even worse than that. So that's possibly the biggest detailing problem with this map. Most of it's not too bad otherwise. What we got flowing water down the rivers. Yes, that's great, no problem with the rivers. Out to sea, fairly static. And the canals, some of them there's flowing water, some of them isn't. I advise just using a little bit of caution when putting down your sewage outlets to ensure that you've got a decent flow. And that sounds absolutely revolting and vile, doesn't it? Oh yes. Anyways, once your sewage is flowing properly... Oh crikey, why am I thinking curry? I don't know. Okay, where were we? So this is the map as an overall, and like I say, it's based very much on the Dutch landscape. It's very flat, as is most of there's no mountains. Oh no, no mountains in Dutchland. Yes, it's a lovely, lovely place, I tell you. Lovely people as well. Very tall, the Dutch, apparently. I've met many Dutchmen. Why you need to be tall when there's not much to see over, I don't know, because everything's so very flat. Anyway, we've got, like I say, that's probably the tallest part of the map. 1 or 2 paddling trees, but they are fine. You know, these things do happen. They look fairly realistic to me. And down here, just hugging the bank. See, there we go. We got here's the dike there, holding back the water. And then just on the other side of that, drop down here, we've got a lot of greenery, but low-rise greenery as well, along the side of the river itself. Looks really good. And we've got this mud bank here with some shrubbery on it as well. Yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased. I'm loving it. I am. What's next are we looking for? There's another dike along here holding back the sea dike, I'm guessing it would be called. Says he completely forgetting everything he's read about Dutch dikes and stuff. But yes, a lot of reclaimed land in Holland and the rest of the Netherlands. This is Frisia, something like that. Now these little raised areas, these aren't a glitch, these are deliberate. There are raised areas like this for where farmhouses etc. are built on. So when the area does flood, which is bound to happen at some point, then they are not. You've got areas of safety, of respite. So those are genuine archaeological or archaeological. You know what I mean. Physical things. Anyways, now I was talking about LUTs earlier. We're running with the Starburg LUT here, which is just a random selection, because this is what it looks like in vanilla. Now, it's not bad in vanilla, but I felt that this map definitely deserved something a little bit fresher than these vanilla colours, because it's not bad, but do you agree with me? I think it was worth. With this particular map, it is a very good map, and I felt it needed to be shown off a little bit better than the Colossal Orders in the colour scheme that they inflict on us. So anyway, back to Starburg, and this is there you go. This is how good it can look. Aesthetically, I think even in vanilla, it's almost worth 4 stars, and with a decent LUT like Starburg here, we're definitely looking at a 4-star map. Detailing, yeah, those bridges, gonna lose a star for those. The rest of it is all minor squiggly stuff that I can't really knock an extra star off for. It's definitely 4 stars for detailing. Excuse me. Gameplay potential, very happy with gameplay here. Pretty much, once again, unlimited. There's so much you can do. So much you can do with it. So I'm going to give that 5 stars. That's a big score today for a Throwback Thursday map. Pierdoniadiel Z by Zakerias, and that was the BonBonB seal of approval you saw there. How about that? Right, well, I seem to have misplaced my my trivia. Where's my trivia? Oh, it's on the floor. Fancy knocking it on the floor. Well, while I pick that up off the floor, let me say I've been watching a little bit of the old snooker on the TV of late. And the snooker, I mean, it's been really... Oh, I should tell you what we're looking at, sorry. I should tell you what we're looking at on the screen before I talk about the snooker. We've got 4 different themes with the realistic 1.2 LUT. And these are the 4 themes that we've seen in the last few days, each with 4 different LUTs on their own particular day. Top left-hand corner, the Euro 4K theme, and then top right-hand corner, the post-apocalyptic theme, which is very Fallout 4, very nice, and very unusual. NotSoRocky theme in the bottom left-hand corner, and Clear Winter theme by Avanya in the bottom right-hand corner. So 4 very contrasting LUTs, themes. I'm sure you get, especially on this desert theme. Look at that! Oh, look at that! But yes, I was saying about the snooker. I was watching the Masters, and if you don't really know what snooker is, think like pool, except for huge tables, and lots of coloured balls and stuff like that. Anyway, so I was they had a couple of the experts in the studio, and Steve Davis, he was a bit of a hero of mine when I was growing up. He was like world champion for about 5 straight years, I think it was. An absolute legend of the game. And anyway, I overheard that he was having some excuse me while I shout out the word stomach. Some stomach problems, poor fellow. And he had to go and see the doctor, or the GP, while he was actually recording for the World Championship. For the Masters, which we were just watching. Anyway, he got to the doctor's, and the doctor said to him, well, maybe it's your diet. What do you eat? To which Steve Davis said, well, I'm a big fan of the odd snooker ball. And the doctor looked at him in disbelief and said, I'm sorry, did you say you eat snooker balls? And he went, yes, I do. And I'm sorry, I don't understand. He says, well, tell me, what do you have for breakfast? To which Steve Davis says, well, I like a cue ball, followed by a red, followed by another cue ball, followed by a yellow. And the doctor looks at him in more disbelief and says, well, what about for lunch? He says, well, before we get to lunch, he says, I normally have a blue ball for 11s. The doctor says, yeah, okay, well, and lunch? He says, well, for lunch I'll have a red, then a brown, then a red, then a black. And I might finish with a cue ball for dessert. He says, right, and then after that, he says, well, for supper, my evening meal, he says, I'll normally have a red, and then I'll have a yellow, and then I'll have a red and a pink, and then a red and another black. And the doctor looks at him and says, I know what your problem is, Mr. Davis. He says, you're not eating enough greens. And on that note, I probably should slit my own wrists to save you doing it for me. I apologise if you've heard that one before, but sometimes you've just got to tell an old one. Right, what have we got? We have got factoids about London. That's London in the United Kingdom, in London, because there are lots of London in London. Rudolf Hess was the last prisoner to be kept in the Tower of London. Okay, well, that's one I didn't know today. I should know. Green Park was once a popular spot to fight a duel, and I did know that. Slapping each other with white gloves. London's main post office sorting depots are linked by their very own underground railway, and that is actually another one that I've seen in documentary on TV. So yes, if you imagine a congested city like London, to be able to move the mail from one area to another underground, and this isn't part of the London Underground network, this is its own separate line, not even tall enough to stand up in, if I remember rightly. The Great Fire of London in 1666, where, well, I mean, destroyed so much of the city. Only 6 people were killed. And there we are. How about this one? The Bank of England has its own artisan well. And I didn't know that. Until 1764, London houses were not numbered. So it would have been hell being a postman back in those days, of course. In 1580, 86 years before the Great Fire of London, the building of new houses was banned because the city was getting too crowded. And we all know what happened next. The highest concentration of rats in London is beneath the Houses of Parliament. Well, there's less said about that, the better. There's a joke waiting to be told there, and I'm refusing to do it. About 75,000 umbrellas are lost each year on the London Underground. 75,000. That's just ridiculous, isn't it? It doesn't even rain down there. Well, thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. Of course, you can click the links on the screen now. The left-hand link will take you to the most recent video on the channel, and the one on the right will take you to another map in the What Map series. Clicking the big circle in the middle will automatically subscribe you to the channel, which you really want to do. And of course, you can see the full map list on Patreon at patreon.com/BonBonB. Free to view, no obligation whatsoever. Have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow for another What Map.